Hello everyone! Quick thing about basically forgotten games. A few people asked, where's forgotten games gone? Well, mainly I'm finding it a little harder to pick a bunch of titles related to a specific system, which is what I've been kind of trying to do, either a system or era, and I'm starting to have more trouble doing it. So today I'm going to focus on some forgotten modern titles, before we move on to the more next generation of systems more. And episodes beyond this will probably now then contain more mixed variety. But aside from that, let's just move on, shall we? So I got 4 games today I want to talk about. And the first one is the first PS3 title I got. Folklore. Folklore is possibly the only fucking PS3 game I ever seen that made use of 6-axis. Now, in case you don't know what 6-axis or don't even remember what it is, since there hasn't been a fucking game that used it in ages, it is the PS3 being able to recognize the movement. Well, I guess Dark Souls would probably be the most recent thing that really used 6-axis if you actually use it for to do the emotes. But basically what the really interesting thing in combat with Folklore is it has like a Pokemon kind of aspect, but you don't really like capture Pokemon and throw them in the kind of sense. You capture the souls of Folklore creatures, and you basically use the spirits to attack. And when you to try and capture the spirit, you basically grab onto it and you have to use the 6-axis to like yank on the soul in different directions and basically fight it out, and then you suck it up. Very nice. Overall, it's basically, it has light RPG elements. Well, basically you figure I believe it was four Folklore souls to your buttons, and you can basically carry out their unique move set that they use. It features 2 storylines, a really bizarre mystery. I sadly never finished Folklore. I've actually been very interested in doing a Let's Play of it. Haven't we heard that enough by now? Interested, do a Let's Play of it. It wasn't like a launch title for the PS3, but it was a very early-ish PS3 title. I'd say it was probably more about near the end of the first year of the PS3, I guess. But it was the first title I got with my PS3. I originally was getting my PS3 to get the next Metal Gear Solid 4. But I decided with the new 40 gig out, I figured I'd just jump the wagon and get it a little early, and I wanted to get something to play it with. And that's why I got Folklore. The very interesting art style, the cover really drew me in. Folklore itself, the design of the characters in that are based on a lot of, it's like European, Swedish kind of folklores. It's been a while since I read a lot of the inspiration for the creatures in this game, but they have a lot of overseas inspiration for their designs. And it does have a very bizarre way of telling its story in a very comic book style. And it really was an interesting title. As far as I know, it's not very expensive to get your hands on. So I would definitely look that up if you have a PS3. The next, which is the other PS3 game I want to show, is a more recent title. I believe it came out about a year and a half ago, I believe, if I remember correctly. It might be 2 years, but it's a lot more recent than Folklore is still. That is Residents of Fate, which is a Trace Ace game that was published by Sega. This actually appeared in the recent release of Project X Zone. The characters appear in it. This is a really bizarre game. It's not a traditional RPG. which really stands up to Trace Ace standards. I mean, after all, they're the original creators of Tales, so, you know, leave it to them to always keep going outside the RPG box. This is a... I can't really put the combat into simple words. It has a really bizarre real-time turn-based move set thing. It's... I really don't even know how to describe the combat. It would just be simpler to go and look up a gameplay video of combat to really just... because it has a lot of fancy gunplay and such. But it is an RPG, and it has a lot of... so maybe I should have really refreshed on how I want to really talk about this title, maybe. I really don't know how to put in the words. It's really a bizarre game. You basically move your characters around the map, and when you activate battle modes, you basically get your character doing strange moves and acrobatics and shit, shooting enemies and shit into the air and crap. And it also features several odd mechanics that give you advantages and disadvantages, like making a certain circular shape around enemies, make all your characters go at one time, while characters getting too injured in that cause like a depression debuff on everyone. Everyone's like, oh crap, we're all fucked and shit. It's like, it's really weird. And then going around the map, like the characters are like trapped on... Like, I never played really far because I decided I didn't have the time to devote... Because it really seemed like the kind of RPG you devote a lot of time to it. And at the time, I didn't feel like I wanted to go so in depth at the time. And it's another thing I've been considering doing a LP on. Oh, what a colored surprise. Shocking, I know. It's a very interesting title, but do not expect anything remotely near traditional RPG aspects. It is completely odd. And if you're looking for something odd, go look it up. Now the other two titles I got here are both Wii titles, so I might as well get the one that longtime people of my channel might be familiar with. Lost in Shadow. One of the first games I did videos of. Prior to having a system do commentary, I have a silent blind playthrough of this. It really left a really nice impression. It's really a great game, a very good puzzle game. It has a very nice atmosphere and story. Basically, to put it simply, your character basically... his body and shadow become separate, and the shadow gets thrown off a tower, and basically from all the way on the bottom you have to walk your shadow back up to your body. And the shadow has to interact with the shadows of other things, so light and moving objects and that, so those shadows move along or have different effects on the backdrop. Help with the puzzle solving, and then those other aspects that become involved in the story that add to more puzzle solving. It's really just all about puzzles. There's a little action, but it is barely about the action, really. It's barely about that. It's pretty cheap. It's a really good game. I highly suggest looking up on your Wii. But one title I don't think I've ever really talked about on my channel. I beat this when I went to New York the second time. I brought my Nintendo Wii U with me because I wanted to play with some of my friends, Double Upon Kingdom, but we never got to do that. But in my free time, I was playing this game, or the end of it. I was already getting near the end, and I finished it in New York. Fragile Dreams. This is the alternate cover. This was published in America by Xseed. Fragile Dreams, Farewell Ruins of the Moon is a very odd game. It has RPG elements and a survival horror kind of aesthetic design, but it's not really scary. I mean, it really feels like they were trying to go for kind of a horror thing, but really, I can't really see somebody being scared of this game. But overall, it does have a apocalyptic kind of feel, but it's very colorful. It's not very everything's brown and gray and nukes away. It's very colorful. There's very beautiful scenery here and there, but at the same time, there are gloomy ruins of death around. The main character gets different weapons that break apart after being used so much and such. There are light RPG elements. There's a shopping system, but it's really a more linear journey going forward, trying to find out what happened to basically human life, as almost everyone has seemed to died. Very bizarre plot twist. It was pretty well enjoyed, and a lot of people were like, "Yay!" when this game came out. But I really haven't heard anyone really talk about it since its release. It just seemed like, yeah. And that's a bit of a shame, really. I do not know if this game is rare these days. If it's not, I definitely recommend checking out. Fragile Dreams was a fun and slightly unique. It wasn't perfect, though. There are a few flaws with the controls, but they didn't bother me enough to feel like they broke the game. But there are slight few little issues some people may find a little more annoying than others. But overall, I found it a really interesting and enjoyable experience. And it definitely shows off a lot of beautiful graphics that the Wii was capable of doing. Anyway, those are 4 Mon games I feel of our current generation, which is starting to finally completely close these days, or getting around now, that I feel that will forgone. As I said, the next episode, forgone games will involve more mixed games of different genders, different time periods and systems, because it's being a little harder to come up with 5 to 10 titles focused on one little thing. So there'll be a lot more mixed in these episodes. So I hope you check out some of these titles, or check into looking into them and buy them or try them. I think they're all excellent titles that definitely should be looked into and played. I enjoyed them, and even though I have only beaten 2 out of the 4 that I showed you, like I said, 2 of them I'm really interested in trying again. But it really comes down to getting time to do it. I mean, you people have seen what I got. It's really hard to get time. But if you have any questions or anything about any of the games or anything, or if you want to recommend games, I've had 2 delightful, really good recommendations of games I've never heard of. And that's something else I would like to also hear, is games that you think I might not know about. I know a lot of games, but nobody knows all the great games of the world. So feel free to share any games you think or forgotten or appreciate, or anything I may not bring up. And please, something that does get bringed up a lot on some videos is some people seem to take offense, this series was born from the Top 10 Unknown RPGs video I did, and some people take offense, and I know this ain't related just me, anything that uses Top 10 in its title, somebody seems to take offense that this one title they think should be on it ain't on it. It's don't take it offensively. It's a subjective opinion, obviously, whether it's unknown at. But, this series of forgotten titles was born from that video to talk about more unknown titles in a more constructive environment. But anyway, don't take it offensive if I don't talk about a game that you think really should. Feel free to leave a comment about it. And if, like I said, you have any questions about any of the games I've just talked about, feel free to comment about that. I'll see you all next time on Forgotten Games.